Hey folks, it's Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be Into the Mind of GSP, UFC 111. I wasn't going to do this today, but there's been so many requests requesting it that I feel like that I just have to go ahead and just get it done. Okay, preliminary stuff. I do not hate GSP. I am frustrated with GSP. And it's just nothing personal about Canada, but I don't know. Okay, let's just get started with it. Okay, basically, what drives GSP? If you get, as we go through this video, you're going to see that the driving force of GSP is fear. That drives almost all his decisions, or at least that's the overwhelming one that drives GSP. Okay. First fight with Matt Hughes. Why did he lose? Why did he lose that first fight with Matt Hughes? You even seen it in the stare down. He was scared. Fear. Fear is the reason he lost that fight. He was the much better fighter. He should have won that fight. If he had to overcome that fear, he should have won that fight. So he lost that fight solely due to fear. Okay. When he felt invincible. Okay, so yeah, I even remember GSP saying this. Oh, I have the ability to push down my fears. It ain't about pushing down your fears. It's about conquering them. So here's GSP's mind. He was able to use his consciousness to push down this fear, to put it out of his mind, and that allowed him to lay it all on the line. So that's why you see it. The Jackson camp, they're like, oh, you're the greatest, you're the best, you can. They can keep talking him up. Instead of talking him up, they should have helped him conquer that fear, and then he'd have been a serious badass. I mean, he's a badass already, but you know what I mean. Then comes along GSP, the first fight with GSP, and he gets his ass whacked the first round. His face is all mincemeat. He doesn't get knocked out, but he took a serious ass whooping that first round and had to resort to wrestling the second. Everybody loses the first round to BJP, and so that starts bringing up some fear that maybe he's not invincible, and he starts questioning the BS that they're telling him everywhere he goes. So that starts putting doubts into that invincibility that he believes in himself and probably been pushed on him. Okay. Why GSP cheats? Okay, so this one's got a lot of stuff going on here, so you're going to reveal some stuff that you might not have ever heard before. So we got the grease gate up here. So basically I have to do this sideways because there's so much crap here going on. So basically he's got an ego and then the fear. And because he's when you're a fearful person, you have to think about everything because you're scared all the time. Like, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? So his mind is always thinking of every angle possible because he's filled with fear. And that's a good thing in a way, but it's also a bad thing too. Okay, so let's start with what we know. He did cheat in that fight. We all knew it. We seen his corner man put the grease in his pocket. He was cheating. And plus, if you looked at his face, you can see that fear in his eyes. Like, oh hell, I'm caught. How do I play this off? How are we gonna get by with this? You can see it in his eyes. I mean, maybe you couldn't. I could see it. So there you got the greasing because of the cheating, because he's thinking of every angle before the fight's even starting, because he's thinking every angle to win. Why is he doing that? Because he lacks confidence within his abilities. A fearful person, the only way a fearful person feels confident is when they have so much ability they can conquer everybody completely. And that rarely ever happens, and even then, they're still not 100% confident. This is a good one here that you may have, I know you've seen it, but you may not realize I don't know if it's technically cheating, but it's the spirit of cheating. Spitting water on himself. He comes into the ring. What's the first thing he does? He gets a little drink water from the corner. He spits it up in there and he walks under it. Why is he doing that? To get his body wet so he can slide out of submission. It's obvious. The boy is thinking about cheating. Every possible angle he can do, he does. Don't get me wrong. I respect it in some ways. And I'm going to point out why I'm frustrated with GSP. I think it's brilliant in a way. They're letting you get by with it. Don't get me wrong, I would use every angle I could too. But it's still cheating. Now this is some stuff you probably haven't considered But knowing me, I think of everything. I would have done this, so I'm pretty sure he's thought of it because, you know, it's his ass on the line in there when he gets in there. So here we go. This is speculation, obviously, but I think it's pretty mud on. And those of you who practice MMA, you may want to take some advice on this next stuff because this might help you slide out of submission someday. Speculation. Oily skin foods. I'm sure there's some foods out there that you can eat that naturally put more oil into your skin. So, you know, he could be eating those a month or a week before the fight, and that would naturally make his skin oilier. Have you ever been playing basketball with somebody and they got the oiliest skin in the world? You just like slide right off, and you're like, oh, it's nasty. Plus, you just feel the oiliness, and you're like, oh man. I'm sure he does that. And if he does it and he watches this video, I'm sure he will be doing it. Okay. And if you're fighting GSP, you should do that. Okay. You know what might be a good idea too? If you're fighting and you like submissions, maybe you should eat some foods that dry your skin out so you can get better traction. So I don't know. That's just a thought. Next thing I bet you he does, I bet you he puts lotion on his skin every night the week or the month before the fight. That way his skin is just like saturated with oil. Even though he probably has to wipe it all off, it's just naturally just penetrate. His skin is penetrated. Probably talking to women on beauty products to find out how to make their skin more moist. You know he's doing it. He thinks like a cheater. Why? He's thinking of every possible angle. Again, I feel like GSP would be family in a way with me because I know I think of every angle. I'm not into trying to be a Billy Badass. I take the Sun Tzu approach. I find a softer way to defeat my enemy. I don't want to get in there and get injured for no reason when I don't have to. Speculation. I'm sure there's something I'm missing because I ain't in the MMA game. If I was around it every day, I would find all kinds of things that nobody's even considered. Even GSP hadn't considered. Okay, and notice too, again, thinking of every angle. Notice the second fight with BJ Penn. That dude had every trick figured out. He figured out to put him against the cage, get blood in his shoulders. Then he also figured out to act like he's going to shoot and then come up with that little jab punch and was beating BJ to the punch because he had BJ scared of the takedown. So yeah, he's thinking of everything. If it's even close to cheating, my old drill sergeant used to say, I was in the military and basic training. Drill sergeant said, if you aren't cheating, you aren't trying. And that is GSP's philosophy. It's easier to get forgiveness than it is to get permission, so just try and see if you get by with it. Okay. Matt Serra made him realize he's human. So notice this was back again, that other chart. He was pushing down his fears, and then he fought Matt Serra. Matt Serra knocked him out. Invincibility is broken. The BS that everybody's telling you is no longer valid. So that kicks in the safety first mentality. And this is where GSP and I start parting ways. I love GSP when he first started fighting. He's dominating guys. He's coming there, dynamic, striking, boom, 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 spinning kick. He's awesome, man. And he would use his wrestling to finish fights. He wasn't using to be afraid of striking. And again, notice that's why he don't strike. He's afraid. I don't want to do a 50-50. It's like going all in and playing poker. No, there's other ways to deal with it besides being scared. And so notice after that Matt Serra fight, he could no longer push down his fear. He had to actually, the fear made him do something. You know, they wanted to have a systematic way of breaking his opponents down. Okay. This is going to go to 2 videos. I think about stopping it short because I hate to get on a row and have to stop. I am going to start this up in the second video. The next video will be down in the video response. If you're quick on the draw and you pop this video up before I get the second one uploaded, it'll be up shortly. And okay, so anyway, in the next video, later folks.